Have you noticed that whenever you chase after something or long after something or desperately want something, it tends to run away from you? But once you shift the dynamic to not caring about having that same thing and living your life to the fullest, or living the I don't give a fuck type of lifestyle, that thing tends to meet you where you are or chase after you. And that's because everything in the world is about energy. And it took me a long time to understand these dynamics and phenomena. And it's dawned on me the most when I started my fitness journey, because I was desperate about, having the perfect body, having the big biceps, seeing my abs, seeing my chest pop. Like, I had this visual in my mind, in my head, about what I want my dream body to be like. And I'm not saying it's bad for you to have a goal or have a picture, but there's a difference between desiring something and being desperate about something. At that point, I feel like I was desperate about it, and trust social media. Social media will bomb you with whatever it is that you're interested in. And it made me overwhelmed. I was jumping from workouts to workouts, trying different things, listening to tons of advice online, and I would just say I was overwhelmed. And the shift only happened when I got tired of listening to a lot of things online and shifted to just doing the basic things, making sure I was just going to the gym daily. I wasn't fixated on the result anymore. I was just fixated on like showing up daily. And all of a sudden, I just looked at the mirror and I saw a different person. And it didn't make any sense to me. I was chasing after this person and I wasn't getting that person. Then I didn't care about that person, and that person came after me. It was really crazy to me, and it still happens to me till today. Whenever I'm embarking on a journey or I'm putting in maximum effort on something, grinding, trying to make something out of nothing, whenever I'm fixated on the results, I tend not to get the results or per se see the result, because the result might actually be there and your perception can just identify it, or your consciousness doesn't identify it, because your mind is accustomed to your old identity. And that taught me a great lesson of always letting go and letting God. That's what I heard from. I don't know where I heard it from, but the concept is always putting in the effort, doing your best, and not being fixated on when it will happen, how it will happen, or the whole situation about how you achieve that goal. I feel like right now in my life, whenever I'm embarking on a journey, like right now I'm making YouTube video, I'm trying to like build an online business. Now my job as an entrepreneur, a fitness entrepreneur, is to show up. You get me? Show up, being consistent, putting out value, trying to help people get better. That's my job. That's all I have to do. That's the best I can do right now. But being fixated on when I'll gain traction, or when I'll gain my dream clients, or when it will all, work out for me, that's the trap. That's you now trying to force things. That's you now being outcome dependent. So I just feel like getting to your desired reality, it can be anything. Right now, mine is, building a business. Yours can be building a business equally. Yours can be starting your fitness journey. Yours can be, getting into a new relationship. It also applies to relationship per se, because think about it. Whenever you found love, was when, at least for me, whenever I found love or found somebody I really liked, or someone that I thought I liked per se, was when I wasn't actually looking for that person. It was when I was just busy doing something else. That's when somehow I come across this person and it flows effortlessly, stress, no this, no that. But whenever you are on the go, trying to get the girl, trying to, do too much, trying to, set it all out, trying to plan it from the start to the finish, bro, for some reason, I don't know why it doesn't work out that way. I don't know why it ends up flopping. Something just happens. You get me? But when you're, in your in your higher states, in that flow state. I call it the flow state. When you're free, when you're you, when you are not, you know, consumed by fear, anxiety, and all those low frequency shit, you feel me? I feel like that's when you tend to attract the right energy towards you. But when you are fixated on, making it work, it tends to draw low frequency energies like fear, anxiety, and all those things. But when you are just free, doing your own thing, your own way, and not actually thinking about what someone else thinks or what someone will say, you feel me? Because that's basically what that's the state you're in when you are attracting the right things. Well, because when I attract the right things, I am just me. I'm being me. I'm not like being someone else. I'm not like trying to impress nobody. I'm not trying to be someone else. That's when somehow those things come to me, and I'm like, bro, it's looking too easy right now. You feel me? Well, whenever I'm too fixated on trying to make it work, trying to get the girl, trying to get the job, even when I was working in 9 to 5, my first 9 to 5 job, my first software engineering gig, the first gig I had before the first employment, it all came the same way. It came effortless. But when I was applying 100 times a day, putting in the best amount of work, doing all those things, bro, I never saw no traction. I never saw anything. I was fixated. I was always looking out for my email, rejection email. I was always feeling bad. My first gig, I made, how much did I make? I made like 300,000 naira, Nigerian naira, when I was in uni. That was the first money I made from coding. And how I got the job, how I got the gig was out of rubbish. And guess what? Just doing that same gig of 300k. Actually, it was 250k, not 300k. Now I remember. It was 250k. Guess what? 2 weeks later, I made another 250k from that same gig, because I did this for someone, and I was even skeptical about what I did, whether it was good enough. And guess what? That same gig got me a new client, and I made like 500,000 naira in 2 weeks without stress. But whenever I'm fixated on, I want gig, I want this, I want that, it's more like somehow that thing that I want starts going away. And I know a lot of people are experiencing this, and they don't understand what is happening behind the scene. But it's all about energy. It's you just being in your own, higher self states. Because we have the higher self and the lower self. You get, you being in your calm states, peaceful states, joyful states, you just living your life, not thinking about things. I'm not like saying you should not be strategic in what you're doing, but like I said, you should just be strategic in putting in the effort and not be fixated on how the outcome will come. That's my own principle, and I feel like that's what works for me the most. And I've spoken to a lot of people, and that's what works for them. And I feel like you should try it and see if it works for you too. And that's basically why I'm making this video, because I'm very sure that some people are experiencing this or will experience this. So I'm bringing it to your awareness for you to understand and not be confused. And life is a game. When you understand the game, you identify the game, and you play like a baller. You feel me? And also, if you're an entrepreneur, a busy man, and you want to build up your physique, you want to look physically fit, you want to be mentally strong, click the link in the description below to explore the 2 options I have for you. Peace out.